Folks, this video here has been put together to provide instructions on the operation and the troubleshooting and adjustment that may be required for the valve pack on the VertiLift. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to show a VertiLift table with a valve pack that is factory adjusted, and then we're going to alter those settings so that you can see some issues that could potentially arise out in the field related to the valve pack. In this section, we're going to go ahead and cycle a factory calibrated table so that you can see how the table performs in its intended cycle. Coming down, transition point, coming to the set height. In this section, we're going to introduce you to a component called a valve pack and how this valve pack controls the cycle of the VertiLift table.
As you see, we have two sides on the valve pack. The right side controls Hylo down mode and VertiLift up mode. The left side controls VertiLift down mode and Hylo up mode.
What we're going to do in this section here is we're going to take a properly calibrated VertiLift table and we're going to upset the setting first in Hylo mode so that you'll be able to see what the visual effect is on the cycling of the table. Following that, we'll upset the setting in the VertiLift mode so that you can see how the cycle is upset in that setting. And with that visual indication, we'll show you how to make the necessary adjustments to the valve pack in Hylo and VertiLift mode to arrive back at a factory setting. Alright, so we've upset the setting on the valve pack in Hylo mode. What we're going to see is a cycle where the table is going to come down in Hylo mode. When it reaches virtually the bottom of the cycle, it's going to jerk and bump, and then we're going to see that the transition from Hylo mode to VertiLift mode is going to be greatly interrupted. Now we'll complete the cycle by bringing the patient back up. In this case, the VertiLift mode setting remains at the factory setting. And what we'll see in this case is that we'll complete the cycle in a normal manner. Table's gone down, it's made a good transition, and it's also moving back up to the stop point. So in that cycle, we've seen how we can affect the setting of Hylo mode on the valve pack without upsetting the setting on the VertiLift mode, and visually we can identify what the effect is on the cycle. Alright, so in this case, what we have done is we've restored the Hylo setting on the valve pack to a factory setting, and we have upset the VertiLift setting on the valve pack so that we can clearly see what the effect is. The effect in this case will be that the table will come down in Hylo mode and then move to its preset height in VertiLift mode correctly, because the factory setting in Hylo mode is correct. Now at this point, we're going to transition back down and up in Hylo mode. Because we've upset the VertiLift setting on the valve pack. We're going to see what the effect is. Next, what we'll do is we'll reestablish the setting on the valve pack in VertiLift mode back to the factory setting, and once again illustrate the total cycle under factory setting conditions. At the factory, once the valve pack is set, both on the VertiLift side, left side of the table, and the Hylo side, right side of the table, a mark is put across the valve, jam nut, and adjusting screw to establish the factory setting. That setting should not need to be altered under normal conditions. However, if it's found that an adjustment is necessary, the adjustment that's made is very small, very minute in relation to the factory setting. And we're talking just a few degrees from the factory setting, either clockwise or counterclockwise, depending upon what the visual indication of the cycle is.